Hello, today we are going to go over long division. So before we get started, a couple things you need to know before we learn about the long division. You just need to know your multiplication facts 1 through 10, and then also knowing how to do double digit multiplication will help you. If you need help on that, you can review my previous video. Anyways, let's get started. Start with a simple one. 64 divided by 4. Now also one reminder, so 64 divided by 4. Alright, so this format is how you will solve for long division, right? But you also will see some long division or normal division questions like this. 64 divided by 4. These equal each other. So don't get confused. These are essentially the same thing. So anyways, 4 divided by 64. Let's start. So one thing that helps me, I always like to see each number inside the box as its own thing. So like separate 6, separate 4. But anyways, let's do this. So first thing I always ask myself, how much times can 4 go into 6? 1 time, so 1, and then 1 times 4 equals 4. And then 6 minus 4 equals 2. Then we're going to bring this 4 down. And now we have the number 24. Now you want to have these two together. So how much times can 4 go into 24? The answer is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So 6 times. So write a 6 up here above the 4. And then 6 times 4, 24, minus 24 equals 0. So yep, 16. Let's do another question. What about 25 divided by 5? Now, this one's similar, but there's one little small different thing. So, first we ask ourselves, how much times can 5 go into 2? The answer is 0, so we'll write a 0 up here, and then we won't do anything on the bottom. Now, how much times can 5 go into 25? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 5 times. So we write that. Then 5 times 5 is 25, so that minus this, we have 0. So, yep, the answer is 5. Now I want you guys to try this one by yourselves. 49 divided by 7. I'll give you time to pause. Okay, so first you ask yourselves, how much times can 7 go into 4? 0. So write a 0 up there. Then how much times can 7 go into 49? 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. So 7 times exactly. We write 49 down here. And then we get 0. 7. Okay, so the answer is 7. Now, we're going to learn something new. What does remainder mean? Remainder is like what's left over in a way. It will make more sense when I show you. But let's do 37 divided by 5. So, we're going to start at how we normally do. How much times can 5 go into 3? 0 times. So we're going to put 0, do nothing. How much times can 5 go into 37? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So 7 times. We write 35 here. Put a 7 up there. And then minus. And then we get 2, right? No numbers left. So this 2 is going to be our remainder. So we will write R, which stands for remainder, 2. Or some people like to do 7 and 2/5. They're the same thing. And then one reminder about remainder: the remainder will never ever be larger than or equal to the number outside the box. So like this number right here will never be larger than or equal to this number. So let's see if you guys can do this question by yourselves. Let's do 41 divided by 7. I'll give you time to pause and think. Okay, so how much times can 7 go into 4? 0 times. So we do nothing. How much times can 7 go into 41? 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. So 5 times. And then 35. 41 minus 35 is 6. No numbers left. So that's our remainder. So remainder is 6. Or you can write it as 5 and 6/7. Okay. We're going to have 2 numbers on the inside, 2 numbers on the outside. So we'll do 60 divided by 15. It's really similar. You're just going to do what we normally do. First, you ask yourself, how many times can 15 go into 6? 0 times. So we're going to put 0, do nothing. How much times can 15 go into 60? 15, 30, 45, 60. So that is 4 times, exactly. 4 times 15 is 60, minus that, 0. So answer is 4 on the dot. Now we're going to try 17 divided by 423. So, to start with this, it's going to be the exact same thing as we normally do, just with an extra number, right? So how much times can 17 go into 4? 0 times. How much times can 17 go into 42? 2 times. So we'll put 2 up here. 2 times 17 is 34. So we write that. And then 42 minus 34 is 8. Then we bring down the 3. We have 83. How much times can 17 go into 83? 4 times. So we write 4 here. 4 times 17 is 68. And then we subtract. 83 minus 68 is 15. And then that's going to be our remainder. 24 with 15 remainder of 15. Now let's see if you guys can do this one by yourselves. Let's say 4,023 divided by 7. I'll give you time to think. Okay, so we're going to start how we normally start. How much times can 7 go into 4? 0 times, so we don't do anything. How much times can 7 go into 40? 5 times. So we will put 5 times 7, 35. 40 minus 35 is 5. Then we bring down the 2. So now we have 52. How much times can 7 go into 52? The answer is 7. So 7 times 7, 49. We have 3. Then we bring down this 3. How much times can 7 go into 33? Answer is 4. So 4 times 7, 28. And then we will be left with 5. So the remainder is 5. So 574 with 5 remaining. Now, we're going to see what happens when we add the number 0. So we have 17 divided by 170. So, we're going to start how we normally do. How much times can 17 go into 1? 0 times, so we don't do anything. How much times can 17 go into 17? 1 time. And then we have 0. Then we have to bring down this 0, right? How much times can 17 go into 0? 0. And then no numbers left, so the answer is 10. The reason why we're bringing down this 0 is because you can't just forget about it. So, whenever 0 is, the last number, you'll bring it down, and you'll just also, and it will make you add 1 to the top, if that makes sense. So, we have 10. If you ignore the 0, we would have had 1, and that's not correct. Let's see if you guys can do this one by yourselves. Let's say 330 divided by 13. Give you a minute to think. Pause. Okay, so let's see. How much times can 13 go into 3? 0 times, so we don't do anything. How much times can 13 go into 33? 2 times, so we have 26 on the bottom. 33 minus 26 is 7. We bring down the 0. Now we have 70. How much times can 13 go into 70? It can go in 5 times. So we put 5. 13 times 5 is 65. Minus, and then we have 5. So no numbers left. So the remainder is 5. 25 and 5/13, or 25 and a remainder of 5. And then we'll do one last question for you by yourselves. Let's do 4,022 divided by 14. Give you time to pause and think. Okay, so let's see. How much times can 14 go into 4? 0 times, so we're not going to do anything. How much times can 14 go into 40? 2 times, so you write 2. 28. 14 times 2, 28. 40 minus 28 is 12. Then we bring down the 2. How much times can 14 go into 122? 8 times. And then 14 times 8 is 112, so we write 112. And then minus that, we get 10. We bring down the 2. How much times can 14 go into 102? 7 times. So, and 14 times 7, 98. And then the remainder is 4. Or we have 4 on the bottom, no numbers left, so remainder. Here, let me redo that. Remainder is 4. So 287 and 4/14, or 287 with a remainder of 4. Last question. 1,734 divided by 17. I'll give you a minute to think. Okay, so how much times can 17 go into 1? 0 times. How much times can 17 go into 17? 1 time. How much times can... And then, so we bring down the 17. We have 0. We bring down the 3. How much times can 17 go into 3? 0 times. So we write the 0. How much time? And then we drop down the 4. How much times can 17 go into 34? 2 times. We subtract 34. And then we get 0. So the answer is 102. Now that will be it today. Thank you guys for watching. My next video will be about how to do long division with decimals. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please remember to like and subscribe if you learned something new.